So it is actually happening. We are going to be getting Camellya. Boring. Oh, it's you. I'm looking forward to our game, Camellya. Obviously being her playful self. So Wuthering Waves is officially drip marketing, I think the most anticipated character that this game has released yet. Ever since her cameo in like all the 1.0 stuff, people were people were absolutely savage for this character. Like, people were going feral over her. They needed her. She needed to be here like immediately. There's a lot of hype and a lot of talk around her. Archive. Bloom bearer from the Black Shores. Camellya is a laid-back character free from shackles with her personal aroma of danger. Intrigued by the belief in fate, she wanders the lands on her own accord, following such a chain of scenarios and its vague guidance. I am super interested and super curious to learn more about this character. Here are my thoughts on what she's going to be. I think it's very obvious she's going to be a fusion character, okay? So we're getting another fusion. The question is, are we going to be getting another fusion DPS so soon after Changli? That doesn't really make sense why we'd get another fusion DPS so quickly. But in saying that, we don't know. Like, I feel like Camellya has to be a DPS unit, right? If she came out and she was like a support, I don't know how well received that is, given her whole lore is about doing things herself. I kind of get this impression, I don't know why. It's just gut instinct. She has this whole like floral theme to a lot of her designs and motifs, right? And I associate like flowers and flora with like life and bringing, so it's kind of conflicting that she's this character about danger and she tiptoes this ambiguous morality, yet she, you know, is a purveyor of, yet she's someone who has life and you know, life essence built into her design and into her kit. Like her hair literally like goes into the ground and comes out as like flowers that actually attack people. So I'm under the impression that maybe she's kind of like a self-sustainer kind of character. Do you know who it kind of reminds me of? Kind of reminds me of like Blade from Honkai Star Rail, you know? And I'll tell you why. I have a feeling she's going to work a little bit like Danjin, in the sense she's going to be able to heal herself, and my only speculation for that is because of the whole floral motifs. I'll be so real, that's the only reason I feel that way. Like, she's gonna be very much a DPS character that's like punches, but is able to kind of like sustain herself a little bit. So it's gonna be really interesting to see like who she'll work with and who her supports will be. But then again, I could be totally wrong here. She might just be a straight up support character, or she might just be a balls to the wall full DPS unit. I don't know. But I get the feeling someone who likes to travel on her own accord kind of has a bit of self-sustain to their kit. Ooh, you see what I mean? She's got all this floral stuff about her. This is also really cool artwork. People are gonna go crazy. Oh, of course we got the armpits on show. I mean, you guys know I'm the armpit checker in any of the official art. Do we see armpits? Do we see toes? Do we see huge? You know, I'm always looking out for the freaks. I'm always wondering where the freaks are. So they are getting their own armpit action. So all you armpit lovers, you're gonna like this art. You're gonna like. I'm so sorry. It's over. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. But she looks really cool. I will admit. Like, let's see. Like, she's being birthed from this like flower, which really makes me feel like life is kind of part of her kit in some way. She might be a fusion character. She might be a DPS unit. I'm assuming. But it'd be so cool if she had some kind of like self-sustain within her kit. Now, in saying that, let's talk about something else real quick. I really feel as though this is Kuro Games' last chance to kind of hook people into Wuthering Waves. At least for like the 1.0 patches and get them excited for 2.0. I say this because Camellya's been that character that since she appeared, people have been absolutely feral over. Her and Geshu-Lin, but I think mainly Camellya. Like, there are way more waifu lovers than husbando joyers in Wuthering Waves. I think that's pretty much obvious. But if they cannot grab the people back into the patch that she is in, I am seriously concerned for the future of this game's performance, because who else would they have? They haven't built any other kind of character. They haven't really built any kind of suspense around anyone else apart from, like, Geshu-Lin. There hasn't, or Scar, Geshu-Lin or Scar, apart from these two characters, there hasn't been any build-up to kind of anything else going on in the actual world building. So they have to get people curious. They have to get people asking what's going on. And Camellya is this character that people will be coming back to the game for, who played it at the very beginning. This is their chance to get the first players back on board and to get new players curious and interested. Oh, what's this? What's 2.0 going to be about? And if they don't manage that, if we don't see a spike in a player base because of Camellya, I am seriously concerned. I am seriously concerned about the future of Wuthering Waves and its interest. They have the tools, they have the resources, the game looks fucking phenomenal, the gameplay plays excellently. They just don't market to the right people. It doesn't get pushed in the right places, and they've been kind of iffy with the release dates of patches, which has made it awkward for people to keep an interest. When you release a gacha game for the first time, you have to have momentum out of the gate, and Wuthering Waves had huge momentum, but it fell so quickly. It fell so quickly, and it would have fallen even further if they didn't give out the compensation that they did. But let's go take a look. Let's go take a look at the facts, okay? Let's go take a look at the facts. Okay, here are the facts. I'm comparing Wuthering Waves with Honkai Star Rail here, purely because I'm not using Genshin Impact because Natlan just came out, and that's going to be, like, have its biggest peak right now for a hot minute, isn't it? So I feel like it's just going to distort how we see this graph. So I've just put it against Honkai Star Rail, who's in its kind of down patches after Penacony's big 2.0 patches. So here we see this is going to be the last 12 months. So this is obviously the launch of Wuthering Waves. As you can see, absolutely huge, but with one of the quickest fall-offs I've ever fucking seen, right? Quickest fall-offs, and it stayed that way, even with 1.0 coming out. It didn't manage to keep people interested. And now, even with, when did 1.2 come out? When did even 1.2 come out at this point? It didn't do an, I guess here? It would have been, it looks like it would have been here, right? 11th of August, actually, 11th of August? No way, it was 21st of July. But, like, people just, it's stagnant. It's completely stagnant. It's at its lowest point and it's continuing to get lower. Whereas Honkai Star Rail, yeah, it's had its stagnant point, but now we see release of 2.5 and Fei Xiao and these cool characters. It's picking back up interest again. And I'm hoping the same thing will happen with 1.3 with Wuthering Waves. It's just taking us a long ass time to get there. And I really feel if the release of Camellya doesn't do something like this, you see what I mean? This big jump here. If this doesn't happen, see all these characters releasing, all these patches are releasing. If nothing like this happens with Wuthering Waves when we see a particular spike, I am going to be concerned for the future of the game. Now, I'm not talking like end of service kind of stuff. Absolutely not. The game isn't going anywhere as long as they're making the millions and millions that they're doing each month, like they currently are. We can expect to see good content throughout. Look, PGR had like a second wave. Right, PGR had like a second wave after like a certain point in time to reach an all-time high. A game doesn't have to have an all-time high straight away, but I feel it's a really strong indicator. It's a really strong indicator, you know what I mean? Be able to have a really good... It's not very often that gacha games have an all-time high after 6 months plus of their release. Heck, even 9 months, you know what I mean? So now's the time, Kuro. Now is the time to cook for us, because we are all waiting in anticipation. I'm excited. I'm not gonna pull for Camellya. I know I have no pulls whatsoever, but I'm saving for either Geshu-Lin or Scar. So that's gonna be it. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.